Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV's Prime Time News. My name is Iribami Salako. We begin with headlines. President Bola Tinubu signs the 54.99 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill into law. The Sunday News Supreme Court ordered CBN and the Accountant General of the Federation to stop further release in financial allocations to Rivers State government with immediate effect. From the international scene, at least 41 road workers are trapped after a massive avalanche struck a remote border area in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand. Details of these and more coming your way soon. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. The Supreme Court has ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Accountant General of the Federation to stop further releasing financial allocations to Rivers State government with immediate effect. Not only that, the Apex Court further rendered null and void the October 5th local government election held in the state. Our correspondent Koliojo completes the story.
The Supreme Court attributed the political crisis in Rivers State to non-adherence to the rule of law and flagrant disobedience to the court order, saying Fubara's government remained a dictator's administration. The Apex Court lambasted the governor for engaging in criminal activity of demolishing the House of Assembly with impunity, just to prevent 27 legislators in the House of Assembly from sitting to carry out their lawful activities. The court also directed that the order shall be enforced until the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, stops all his illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional activities. In a judgment, appropriation law is enacted under the Martin Amoale speakership. The unanimous judgment of the five-man panel of justices dismantled all actions carried out by Governor Fubara for being unlawful. The court held that it was an aberration for Governor Fubara to operate with only 4 out of the 32 House of Assembly members under the guise of baseless fears that he will be impeached. Also, the Supreme Court ordered the 27 members House of Assembly to resume function immediately, just as it ordered the clerk and the deputy clerk who were unlawfully deployed out of the House of Assembly to resume work alongside the House of Assembly workers.
Well, I think we need to commend the Supreme Court, the Apex Court in this judgment, for enthroning judicial authority, for also enthroning constitutional order in this country, not only in Rivers State, but in the whole country. Enthroning the rule of law over and above the rule of man, executive recklessness, and impunity. What we have seen here today is the judgment of this honorable court confirming the judgment of Justice Omotosho, the judgment of Justice Lifu, and also the judgment of Malik of Federal High Court, Justice Malik of Federal High Court. It has come to show us that all the political caricature in Rivers State must come to an end by this judicial decision. It has come to confirm that the only valid member.
And still on that, the Rivers State government says it is still studying the Supreme Court judgment concerning funds of the state and administration of local government in the state. The State Information Commissioner Joe Johnson, in a statement, said the state government will evaluate the situation and determine the next step to take in the best interest of Rivers State and its people. According to the Information Commissioner, the state government joins River people to remain calm, law-abiding, and go about their legitimate business. He stressed that the determination of the main issue of defection of the 27 lawmaker is still a matter not before the Supreme Court, saying it is pending in the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt. Still on judicial matters, subsequent to Honorable Bundashiru Obasa's application to the Lagos State High Court challenging its removal as the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly on January 13, 2025, the court proceedings went on Friday, and Galaxy TV's Matthew E. Jabiken was there to capture the moment. We have details in this report.
Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja are today, Friday, February 28, adjourned till March 7 to hear the several applications brought by various counsel in a suit filed by removed Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. His impeachment on January 13, 2025 was as a result of several allegations including gross misconduct and abuse of office. It's
beginning, and just like what happened in there, both parties actually have their representative, and I think we should allow the legal team to do their job. Well, I think he's still a member of the House of Assembly, so he has every right to come, but invasion and breaking into my office, that is really a big deal. Well, I have, I think 3 or 4 policemen, whereas my normal convoy, my team, 12 policemen, 4 DSS, and 2 anti-bomb. But as I have it this morning, I don't have that.
The chairman, House Committee on Information Strategy and Security, Honorable
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission before the Abia State High Court over alleged misappropriation of 47 billion naira. Oji was arraigned alongside his son Chinedum Oji, a former Commissioner of Finance for Abia State, Dr. Philip Nto, a government contractor Obioma King, and a former Director of the Finance and of Abia State. They are facing 16-counted conspiracy to steal and conversion of billions of naira meant for various government programs referred against them by the FCC. When the matter, which was before the Chief Judge of Abia State, Justice Lilian Abai, was called, the FCC's lead prosecution counsel, Professor Kemi Pinero-San, requested that the charge be read to the defendant to allow them to enter the pleas. The FCC accused them of misappropriating 22.5 billion naira allocated for security votes from 2011 to 15. They were also accused of allegedly stealing 13 billion naira from a loan facility granted by the defunct Diamond Bank. The commission alleged that they illegally converted 12 billion naira from the Parky Club refund. They were also accused of converting 10.4. President Bola Tinubu has implored new graduates of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies (NIPSS), as well as other policymakers in Nigeria, to take the lead in driving the nation's digital transformation and tech-driven economic growth. This, he said, is premised on plans by his administration to revitalize NIPSS, fully digitizing its operation, developing an advanced e-library, and establishing virtual learning platforms to ensure executive education remains cutting-edge and accessible. President Tinubu gave the charge on Friday at the graduation ceremony of Senior Executive Course 46 of NIPPS, Nigeria's premier policy institutions in Kuru Plateau State. The president promised that initiatives, including the
and Paralympic Institute.
On his part, Governor of Plateau State Caleb Mufwang said the state government would prioritize sending female candidates to the institute, just as he appealed for the state to be given more slots to accommodate the growing demand for the institute's admission. Earlier in his welcome address, the Director General of NIPSS, Professor Ayo Motayo, said the graduation was a testament to the vision of the class and the institute to foster strategic leadership in Nigeria. He added that board experiences of the participants would undoubtedly contribute to addressing the future of the work. The class represents a new wave of leaders equipped to drive change in Nigeria. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. Vice President Kashim Shettima departs Nigeria for Namibia to represent President Bola Tinubu at his state funeral for Namibia's founder President Samuel Sheffield Daniel Njoma. Details of that and more coming after the break. Please stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Now to the story teased earlier. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Nigeria for Namibia, where he is expected to represent President Bola Tinubu at a state funeral for Namibia's founder president Samuel Shafi Shuna Daniel Nujoma. Vice President Shettima, according to a statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Office of the Vice President Stanley Nkocha, will join other leaders across Africa and beyond to pay their last respect to the late President at a state burial on Saturday, March 1st, 2025 at Heroes Acre in Windhoek, Namibia. Nkocha said the Vice President will return to the country after the event. Now to other stories, the Nigerian Senate has taken significant steps towards improving the country's healthcare system by advancing 3 major health bills aimed at addressing critical infrastructure and personnel shortages in the sector. This development was revealed during a public hearing on bills seeking to establish 2 specialist hospitals and a federal medical center in different regions of the country. Speaking at the hearing, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, Senator Ipalibo Aribanigo, emphasized the importance of these legislative efforts in strengthening Nigeria's healthcare framework.
Enacting health laws at this time is necessary to meet the ailing infrastructure and personnel demands in the health sector, necessitated by our growing population.
Made against her husband by Senator Natasha Akpote. Reacting to the Natasha's sexual harassment allegation against Senate President, Mrs. Akpabio described the accusation as baseless fantasies, highlighting the previously amicable relationship between their families. She emphasized that the allegations are baseless, noting that she was at the family's residence on December 8, 2023, the alleged date. Additionally, she highlighted the long-standing amicable relationship between the families, which predates Senator Natasha's marriage to her husband. Akpabio for women's inclusion in government. She urged women to refrain from spreading false allegations and vowed to pursue legal action. The House of Representatives has pledged to pass tax laws that reflect the views of Nigerians and serve the nation's best interests. This commitment was made by its Committee on Finance at the conclusion of a 3-day public hearing on the executive-sponsored tax reform bills. The Congress of University Academics, CONUA, was the first to make a submission. While supporting the need to reform the country's tax system, CONUA raised several concerns. The group opposed the proposed increase in value-added tax VAT as stated in Chapter 6, Part 1, Section 146 of the bill, instead recommending maintenance of the current VAT rate of 7.5% and broadening the tax base to include more taxable items.
Union opposes the proposed increase in value-added tax, VAT, as outlined in Chapter 6, Part 1, Section 146 of the bill. Instead, it advocates for maintaining the current rate of 7.5% while expanding the VAT base to include additional taxable items that are not.
The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) was invited again to provide its perspective on the free trade zones.
Does the Customs recommend? What we recommend is a closer collaboration between Customs and NEPSA, and secondly, a review of the Enabling Act, which was last done in 1992, to see if there are emerging dynamics in the economy that needs to be corrected.
During the hearing, the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms expressed its willingness to collaborate with the Finance Committee to address the concerns raised by Nigerians.
We look forward to the opportunity to have some clarification when the committee is doing their work, and anything that you want us to provide data and the reasoning behind the provisions, will be ready to make those contributions. And so therefore, we thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you to the Nigerian people.
The chairman of the committee, Honorable James Faleke, stated that the committee will review all submissions in the coming days and work towards passing new tax laws that will reflect the aspiration of Nigerians.
We believe that following the Constitution, the President has done the needful by presenting these bills to us to amend the tax, of course, and for us as members, as elected members of the National Assembly, House of Reps especially, we assure you that we will do the needful to this bill and give Nigeria a law that, of course, represents the views of all Nigerians.
The Speaker of House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has reaffirmed the 10th Assembly's commitment to enacting strong legislative measures to safeguard and empower women in politics. Speaking at the 2025 Nigerian Women Leadership and Empowerment Conference in Abuja, themed Investing in Nigerian Women, Securing Our Future, Abbas emphasized the need for gender-inclusive governance to ensure equal representation for women in political and economic spheres. He acknowledged that despite constitutional guarantees, Nigerian women face discrimination and underrepresentation in leadership roles. To address these, he pledged to introduce legislation protecting women from political violence and intimidation while promoting fair and inclusive governance. Abbas also called for special seats for women in legislative houses and mandatory gender quotas within political parties to enhance women's participation. Honorable Kofi-Lat Ogbara, chairperson of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, described the conference as a movement to break barriers and create opportunities for future generations. The House of Representatives Committee on Federal Capital Territory, Area Council and Ancillary Services criticized the 2023 budget performance of the Department of Primary Healthcare under the FCT Area Council Service Secretariat. During an oversight visit to the Secretariat in Abuja, the committee found discrepancies in the budget documents and instructed the agency to reconcile all relevant documents within 7 days, including the nominal roll and addresses of the 270 primary health care centers across the FCT. Deputy Chairman Honorable Peter Akpanke expressed dissatisfaction with the agency's performance, urging it to be more proactive in addressing health-related issues. He stressed that improved efficiency is necessary before seeking additional funding. Executive Secretary of the FCT Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Rukoya Wamako, disclosed an overhead cost of 4.8 million naira and highlighted challenges.
This budget appropriation and the releases, we have issues with the releases. Yes, so that is our predicament. And when you compare our budget with other organizations, you find out that it's like we don't have a budget.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, moving on with the rest of the stories, the Bauchi State Caucus and the House of Representatives has resubmitted its application for for the creation of Katagum State after Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu noted that earlier applications for 31 new states didn't meet constitutional requirements. Honorable Awelu Gwelabi, while addressing journalists in Abuja, urged the National Assembly to repeal Section 3 of the 1999 Constitution to enable the creation of Katagum State and more local governments. He said the proposal has widespread support from the people and lawmakers. He emphasized that Katagum, Jamahare and the Misau areas have the necessary manpower, land and infrastructure, and
it's a place where we have highly educated people. In fact, the total carved areas supplies almost 30% of the total requirement of food.
Katagum State is already blessed with all the requirements for the creation of a state. Even state capitals that have been created long ago do not have some of the facilities as the proposed state capital enjoy presently.
Katagum State has a very long history, of which each and one of us know. Apart from that, you can see us unanimously, 4 of us here, in fighting, or let me say, in trying to submit this corrected memorandum.
Oyo State government has flagged off a pioneering health insurance scheme for pupils in public primary schools in the state. Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Barrister Bayo Lawal, flagged off the scheme initiated by Oyo State Health Insurance Agency in Ibadan. Barrister Lawal said the purpose of the scheme is to ensure that children have sound minds while learning and showcasing talent through the provision of conducive environment, atmosphere and good health system. In a goodwill message, Chief of UNICEF Lagos Field, Céline Lafoyere, expressed readiness to continued partnership for children to focus on education and grow to be productive adults. In his welcome address, Executive Secretary OYSHIA, Dr. Shola Konde, revealed that the scheme, which targeted 10,000 pupils with the support of UNICEF and Oyo State Universal Basic Education, will be extended.
A sound mind is always in a sound body. And that captures the essence of today's program. We want all our children to have sound mind. In this intervention, we believe sincerely that even that our children, smallpox, malaria, etc., can be curbed through this intervention. That's why I'm commending your efforts, so that our children will be very, very healthy under a learning environment.
Specifically dedicated to public schools, hence the most vulnerable children in the states. That is, for UNICEF, a focus is the very center, the heart of our mandate, to make sure that the most vulnerable children in Oyo State and throughout Nigeria benefit from a healthcare scheme.
This new door being opened today is focusing on providing access to healthcare for 10,000 public primary school pupils in the first instance. Ensure we're able to keep to our timeline, and I solicit your further assistance, Your Honor, as we embark on enrollment of additional 5,500 pupils into this scheme commencing from next week.
At the event, out other stories, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has said that the recently approved Federal University of Environment in Ogoniland by the federal government will help in developing and improving the lives of the people who have faced environmental degradation. The governor made the remarks when he inspected the facilities which were formerly used as a study center for the River State University. According to the governor, Fubara, the facilities will be officially transferred to the federal government after the inspection of the facilities, as he expressed joy that it is happening during his time as governor.
After this meeting here, we are officially going to transmit the letter of release for the takeoff of the university. We are doing this because at the end of the day,
Agbaje Williams, the first person to appear on African television, has died at the age of 88. Agbaje Williams made history on October 31, 1959, when she became the first face to be seen on Western Nigerian television, WNTV, during its test transmission and official opening night. WNTV, now the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA), was Africa's first television station. According to a statement signed by a member of her family, Banji Shokoya, Agbaje Williams passed on peacefully in Ibadan, Oyo State, where she lived a life for most of her life. Anike Agbaje Williams Nekuforiji, who was born on 23 October 1937, made history by being the first face to appear on the first television station in the whole of Africa, the Western Nigerian television station located at Agodi, Ibadan, both on the test transmission night and on the official opening night, that was Saturday night, October 31, 1959. The statement read, hers was also the first voice to be heard on Africa's first commercial radio station. Glorious career and rose through the ranks until she retired in July 1986 as a well-respected producer and director of programs. The family record in the statement. Ahead of the holy month of Ramadan, which is expected to commence in the coming days, the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) has organized a pre-Ramadan lecture with the theme "The Benefit and Blessings of Fasting." The guest lecturer, Sheikh Dr. Mohammed bin Uthman, the chief imam of Shahaba Masjid Kano, emphasized on the basic need and benefit of Ramadan fasting in the life of a believer. He encouraged Muslims to ensure they study the Holy Quran, memorize it, understanding and put its teachings into practice throughout the Ramadan period and beyond, emphasizing that Muslims stand to enjoy bountiful blessings during Ramadan, during the month which the Holy Quran was revealed. On his part, the Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General John Ochai, who was represented by the Deputy Commandant NDA, AVM Abubakar Abdul Qadri, said the lecture is for both Muslims and non-Muslims because both Muslims and Christians fast, and the benefit cannot be overemphasized.
Women here. So la'allakum perchance likely you will earn God consciousness. So the only rationale behind making it necessary is for you to inculcate in all of you God consciousness. Allah, you are nothing entirely. Animals are there, but they are not expected to fast. You as a human being are expected to obey Allah the Almighty. So the
Now, we move to the international desk. This is news from the international scene. At least 41 road workers have been trapped after a massive avalanche struck a remote border area in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand, officials say. Police spokesperson IG Nilesh Andedbane told newsmen the 16 workers had been rescued and moved to an army camp nearby. The avalanche hit a camp of the Border Road Organization (BRO) in Mana in Uttarakhand, which shares a border with Tibet, officials say. A senior district official, Sandeep Tiwari, said there was no information yet about whether there were fatalities. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami confirmed the rescue work was being carried out by the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, the BRO and other teams. Ambulances and emergency teams have been dispatched, but treacherous conditions continue to pose challenges for rescuers. Colonel Anku Mahajan, a commander with the BRO, said those who had been rescued are receiving treatment, but the extent of their injuries is unclear. Earlier on Friday, the Indian Meteorological Department warned of heavy rainfall in the northern Indian states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, as well as Jammu and Kashmir. Organizations have continued for the 7th day to rescue several workers who remain trapped in a partially collapsed tunnel in southern India. More heavy equipment has been deployed to aid in the search as India's South Central Railway announced on Friday that its rescue team has joined the mission to locate the trapped workers in the town of Nagar Kurnool in Telangana state. Spokesman Isida said railway experts have the expertise in cutting heavy metals using equipment such as a plasma cutter and broker cutting machine. Boring machines, high-grade shutters and debris removal machines were also brought to the location to assist rescuers. The siege on the night of the incident on February 22. The accident occurred after a sudden inflow of water, and international saying Greece has come to a standstill during the general strike marking the 2nd anniversary of the country's worst rail disaster, with 346 protests counted in Greece and abroad. Government services, banks and businesses were shuttered on Friday. Ships did not sail, trains did not run, and no planes left or entered Greece, a stoppage not seen since the days of the country's bankruptcy in the post-2009 financial crisis. An independent accident report cited a litany of chronic equipment failure and human errors in the Greek railway system that led to a northbound passenger train to collide head-on with a southbound freight train in the Tempe Gorge in northern Greece, killing 57 people.